The Peter Principle: Why the World is Full of Incompetent Leaders. The Peter Principle is one of the most enduring and darkly humorous concepts in the world of management and organizational sociology. It puts a name to a universal and frustrating experience: the seemingly inevitable promotion of competent people into positions where they become strikingly incompetent. Formally defined by educator Lawrence J. Peter in his 1969 book, the principle states a simple, cynical truth. In a hierarchical system, every employee tends to rise to their level of incompetence. This isn't just a possibility. According to Peter, it is the inevitable fate for anyone who participates in the climb up the corporate ladder. The mechanism is deceptively simple and tragically flawed. Promotions are most often awarded based on an employee's performance in their current role, not on an assessment of their abilities or potential for the future role. This means that a person will continue to be promoted for as long as they are competent, until they finally land in a job where they are not, and there, their upward movement stops permanently. They have reached their career ceiling, not because of a lack of ambition, but because the system has finally placed them in a position they cannot handle. The classic and most painful example of this phenomenon is the transition from a specialist to a manager. Consider a brilliant research scientist, a masterful software engineer, or an unparalleled salesperson. These individuals are celebrated for their deep technical expertise, their ability to solve complex problems, and their individual contribution. Their work is concrete, measurable, and often solitary. As a reward for their excellence, the system offers them one path forward: management. So the brilliant engineer becomes a team lead, and the star salesperson becomes the head of sales. Overnight, their job description transforms completely. The skills that brought them fame and promotion, writing elegant code, closing big deals, are now secondary. Their new role demands an entirely different set of competencies: motivating a team, delegating tasks, managing budgets, navigating office politics, and thinking strategically. If this individual lacks a natural aptitude for these soft skills or receives no training, they will flounder. They might micromanage their team, unable to let go of the technical details they love. They might struggle with giving constructive feedback, causing team morale to plummet. They were promoted for being a top-tier specialist, but they have now arrived at their level of incompetence as a manager. This pattern is not limited to first-time managers. It can strike at any level of an organization. A successful middle manager who excelled at overseeing a single focused department might be promoted to a senior directorial role with responsibility for multiple diverse teams. Their previous success was built on operational control and deep knowledge of one area. The new role, however, requires broad strategic vision, the ability to manage managers, and a focus on cross-functional collaboration. If they cannot make this leap from tactical to strategic thinking, they too will become stuck. Another common victim is the enthusiastic and capable jack of all trades, the person who is great at putting out fires. They are rewarded by being put in charge of a critical project, only to fail because project management requires meticulous planning, discipline, and foresight, not just reactive problem solving. In every case, the pattern is the same. Past performance is a poor predictor of future success when the nature of the work changes fundamentally. What becomes of an employee once they reach this plateau of incompetence? According to Peter's theory, they enter a state of final placement. They are rarely fired or demoted. Why? Because they have a history of being valuable, and they may still perform some aspects of their job adequately. Dismissing them would be an admission of the organization's own flawed promotion process. So they remain in place, becoming a permanent fixture in their role. These employees often become a significant drain on the organization's productivity and morale. They frequently create complex procedures and generate excessive paperwork to justify their presence and mask their inability to make substantive decisions. They might call endless meetings that lead to no concrete outcomes. They become bottlenecks, slowing down projects and blocking the progress of their more competent subordinates who grow frustrated and demotivated under their leadership. The entire structure begins to ossify, weighed down by individuals who are not performing their key functions. The logical, if terrifying, conclusion of the Peter Principle is that, given enough time and enough promotions, every position in a hierarchy will be filled by someone who is incompetent at their job. This means that the actual work of the organization is being done entirely by those employees who have not yet been promoted to their level of incompetence. The hierarchy, therefore, survives not because of its brilliant design, but almost in spite of itself, propelled by the efforts of those still on their way up. Peter noted with irony that if you look around an organization and see someone who seems to have given up, who spends their time gazing out the window or discussing the weather, you are likely looking at a person who has consciously or subconsciously realized they are in over their head and have settled into their final ineffective state. It is important to recognize that the Peter Principle is a satirical model, a deliberate exaggeration to make a point. It is not a rigid scientific law, and critics have rightly pointed out its limitations. Modern organizations are increasingly aware of this trap. They understand that people can learn and develop new skills with proper training and mentorship. Furthermore, the rise of alternative career paths, particularly in fields like technology, provides a powerful antidote. Many companies now offer dual career ladders, which allow individual contributors, like senior engineers or scientists, to advance in salary, prestige, and influence without being forced into people management. This allows a brilliant coder to become a fellow or principal architect, continuing to do what they love and excel at without hitting a career ceiling or being pushed into incompetence. The enduring lesson of the Peter Principle is a call for awareness and change for both organizations and individuals. For companies, it means they must overhaul their approach to talent management. Promoting someone should not be an automatic reward. It should be a deliberate decision based on a careful evaluation of the candidate's potential and, crucially, their desire for the new role. Using trial periods, project-based leadership tests, and robust investment in leadership development programs can help ensure that a good specialist has the tools to become a good manager. For the individual employee, the principle offers a lesson in profound self-awareness. Before eagerly accepting that next promotion, it is vital to pause and ask, do I genuinely want this new job? Do I have the skills for it? And if not, am I willing and able to learn them? There is no shame in recognizing that one's strengths lie in deep expertise rather than broad management. The greatest career success is not necessarily about climbing as high as possible, but about finding the right fit, the position where you can be maximally competent, fulfilled, and effective, thereby avoiding the tragic fate of rising to your level of incompetence. In the end, the Peter Principle is more than a joke. It is a warning against the unthinking pursuit of upward mobility and a powerful argument for creating systems and making personal choices that value true competence over mere rank.